Hello. So I had a request on a previous roll hunting find video that I did to show off some of my nickel finds, because primarily I am a nickel roll hunter, but I do also delve into half dollars periodically. But I thought it would be a good idea to kind of show off, rather than the craziest, wildest, box that I've ever had and showing the extremes, and showing more of kind of an average Joe sort of nickel box and kind of what you can expect on at least a semi-regular basis if you're doing any kind of volume with nickels. So, for the most part, this one was fairly average Joe. Not anything too spectacular, but certainly a heck of a lot better than getting a box where you get nothing, which does happen from time to time with nickels even. But, so there is one coin that's a little bit more of an outlier, and so I'll cover that one last and clarify that. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the finds. So I got a 1936 Buffalo from the Philadelphia Mint with a clearly visible date. I ended up with a 1943 P Mint silver war nickel. I ended up with a 2009 D Mint and a 2024 D Mint. And I want to clarify for those coins, realistically, the only reason that I pull those more modern ones like that is because currently there is a little bit of a market for them on eBay, so I pull them, wait until I get enough for a roll, and then I just go ahead and put them on eBay and flip them for a profit. So at this time, they currently have a little bit of value in that respect. And then, of course, for me, these are just... they're not valuable, but they're fun finds. I love finding foreign coins, and I did get a Swiss 20 Rappen out of this box, and I've had several of those. And if you're into foreign coins at all, roll hunting is actually a surprisingly good way, and I'm talking about U.S. rolls, a surprisingly good way to literally, you can almost travel the world just through roll hunting. It's fun. I've found coins from all over the world, and this is just one of many examples. Now the last one, this one's kind of a little bit of an outlier because this is not something you're going to find all the time. What I found was what appears to be a 1964 clip planchet error. If you look there, you can kind of see it right there on the side. So my apologies if this is not in focus for you. But yeah, you can clearly see there that that was a clean cut, which is pretty indicative of a clip planchet, something that did not happen post-mint. So anyways, those, errors get a lot of hype these days, but the reality is, errors for me, as far as finding even minor errors that are worth, $5 to $10 on eBay, generally speaking, you're talking about a 1 in 50,000 find. So, probably, it's considerably more rare than, say, finding a war nickel or a buffalo nickel, but not necessarily so rare that it's like, a one-of-a-kind type find. I've found a few minor errors, including clip planchets before, but I would say that, as far as finding an error that has a little bit of value, just need to temper your expectations a little bit because you're not going to find them quite that often. So, but anyways, this is just kind of an average Joe sort of box, and I thought it was just kind of a good way of breaking in sort of my nickel finds, which are, generally speaking, the majority of what I have. Now, for those who are curious, I started roll hunting nickels probably about 2 years ago, just shy of 2 years ago, as a matter of fact. And in that time frame, I will go ahead and run down the list of what I have found. I found 161 silver war nickels, including the one that's pictured here, 108 buffaloes. I found probably in the neighborhood of about 115 of the 2024 D Mints. I found in the neighborhood of about 70 of the 2009 D Mints as well. And keep in mind, part of it's also that I didn't start pulling them until, there started being more hype and generating more value for them on eBay. The number of foreign coins that I've found, I don't really have a count on them. I just collect them for fun, so I don't really track it. I just sort of, just grab them, collect them, and hold on to them. So some of the other things that I've found in nickels, I have found 13 V nickels, Liberty Head, I guess officially as they're known. Everything ranging from an 1883 no cents variant to the 1912, so basically the full range there. I've also found the 1941 large S variety. I found 8 of those. I've found 3 of the 1950 D-Mint key dates. So they're probably actually your best shot at finding a key date coin from roll hunting. So if that's something that appeals to you, definitely would look at nickels. Let's see, what else have I found? Probably in the neighborhood of about 10 minor errors. So, things like significant grease strikes, misaligned dies where, the lettering's starting to get cut off and that sort of thing. Clip planchets like these. As well as I did find what are apparently just a few of the Black Beauty improper annealed 1958 and 1959 Philadelphia Mint coins. So I have found some interesting things for sure. Probably one of the more interesting ones is that I did find a 1936, one of the buffaloes that I found was a 1936 hobo nickel. And I'm going to go ahead and hold that off for another video. I'm going to kind of do another video where I show kind of like some of my more interesting or unique finds that I've had over the last couple of years of doing nickels. So anyways, I just figured I would pass this along. So this is, as I said, barring the error there, the clip planchet error, I would say that this is kind of like an average Joe sort of box. And if I come across, another nickel box that has sort of wild and crazy finds, then I'll go ahead and post a video and share that. Now, I want to make it clear that by and large, I don't do customer rolls because in my area, it's a virtual guarantee of getting somebody else's, a collector's, just unwanted garbage. It's already been searched. So in my area, predominantly what I'm getting is Loomis rolls. That's actually almost exclusively what I'm getting from the bank. So that's giving you kind of an idea. Now, I do converse a lot with roll hunters across the country, sharing finds, and at least from bank rolls and that sort of things. It's really interesting because, especially for nickels, I find that, I can talk to people from, the West Coast, I can talk to people from the East Coast and everywhere in between, and our ratios are actually surprisingly similar. So the rate of return and predictability on these things is pretty good. I will say that, for people who have struggled, are looking for things like silver coins or whatever, if you haven't tried nickels yet, give it a shot because you have a much higher probability of finding a silver war nickel than you ever do finding a silver quarter. And that's a consistent thing across the board. So anyways, I just figured I would go ahead and share this for those who are interested, and thanks for watching.